What is going on, people? It is your boy Svenny bringing you some more of that Battlefield 3, damn it. And, excuse me, this game was a little bit interesting in the beginning. Now, I fast forwarded a little bit to where I did this mostly, but I started this game thinking that I was on the defending squad. And, I thought that I had spawned behind the enemy team and they were all going to plant the bombs. And right here, when I actually saw that I planted the bomb as opposed to defusing it, I realized that I wasn't on the defending side of things. It was a pretty big what the fuck moment from yours truly, the Svenny-D. But anyways, people, I want to talk to you guys about the state of Battlefield 3. And not just the state of Battlefield 3, but the state of Battlefield 3 after the patch. Whew, excuse me, I gotta clear my throat. I've been getting too many blowjobs lately, and never mind, we'll save that for another day. But anyways, this patch was something that was highly anticipated by myself and many people around the Battlefield 3 community, just as the first one was back in November, I believe is when that one dropped. And, you know, before the patch came out, there really wasn't any, I guess you could say, pressing issues. There wasn't any issues like how one-man army noob tubes was in Modern Warfare 2, like how the hit detection was in Black Ops. And the reason I use those examples is because, you know, I was a huge Call of Duty player in the past, and those are some very big game-breaking flaws, I guess you could say. So, you know, there wasn't any major flaws. The frag runs and the USAS-12s were very annoying, but I wasn't really going up against them enough to consider them game breakers. Jesus Christ, I don't know what is in my throat. But, so, you know, the patch came out and there was a lot of good, a lot of bad, not just for myself personally, but from the feedback I saw amongst other commentators on YouTube. And I'm going to give you guys my personal thoughts on a lot of this stuff. Now, overall, I think that DICE did an amazing job in this patch, and just the detail and the intricate thought and, what is the word I'm trying to think of? I don't even know what I'm saying, but, you know, just the detail and the amount of work and the amount of effort that they put into this patch really shows, you know, how much they do pay attention to the community and, you know, how much they do quote-unquote care, which is something that is kind of hard to come by in developers nowadays, especially the publishers like EA, Activision, so on and so forth. Holy shit, maybe we should start a counter on how many times I clear my throat throughout this video. But, you know, I would say that upon getting the patch, there are some major things that I noticed. First things first, that would be the layout of the games. As far as the layout for the squads, you saw that we were dropped down to 3 squads as opposed to, how many were there before, like 8? Which, actually, no, I think it would have been more than 8, because if you think about it, you can have 64 players on PC, so 64 divided by 4 is, ding 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 ding, 16. So I would imagine off the top of my head, I'd say there were 16 squads, but that doesn't even seem right. I don't even know. Maybe that's just on the PC. But anyways, I'm getting off topic here. Cutting the squad menu down to 3 squads, I think, was a very practical move, because now, since you can only have up to 12 players on each team in a game of Battlefield on BF3, I think that you are going to eliminate a lot of those games where you get put into an empty squad. Maybe the other squad, you know, there's 2 other squads that are full. You're the 9th person in, you're kind of the odd one out, you gotta spawn on yourself, and that gets very frustrating. So I think it was a very practical move in switching the number of squads to 3, and even more so, now this might just be, you know, some good luck for myself, but I've noticed a lot more, I would say, success in getting into games with people that you squad up with pre-game. You know, a lot of times before the patch, you know, get 3 of the people in your squad, you get in the game, and you'd either be on different teams or you'd be put in different squads, and, you know, regardless, you would very rarely get put in the same squad as the rest of the teammates you joined up with beforehand. And I've noticed that as something that has gotten shored up quite a bit since the patch is released. you know, even going into stuff like the HUD, how they have the out of bounds areas marked in red, I think was a great addition. It was very frustrating for myself and others when, you know, you somehow get out of bounds and you're looking at the map and you're like, what the fuck? Like, how am I actually out of bounds right now? And then that dreaded fucking clock starts and you don't even know where you need to get back in bounds. So I think that was an awesome addition as well. Moving on into more of the gameplay stuff. I think that the engineer kit was the kit that got the biggest boost out of this patch. The strength and damage that the rockets, both the rocket propelled grenades, the RPGs, the lock-on rockets, the overall damage for rockets greatly increased in this patch. You see, you know, Stingers will take down jets and helicopters. They will disable them in one hit now as opposed to fucking, you know, 17, 18 before. And the same thing goes with RPGs and javelins. It took a lot of rockets to really take out a tank or any other vehicle other than, you know, the Hummers or the sand buggies, whatever the fuck you want to call them. You know, I'm having another, I don't even know what you want to call it, a what the fuck moment. I think my brain is just kind of shot mentally and physically, but yeah, I just said that my brain was shot physically. That kind of goes to show you my mental state as of right now while I'm doing this commentary. But I think the engineer class got a major boost. Some other great additions that the patch brought to us were stuff like, you saw that the medic packs would heal you a lot more quickly. As much as I took advantage of the C4 glitch before, how you could throw down C4, get killed, respawn, and detonate it, I think that it does add to the realism of the game, and I think that overall it was for the better, even though I did enjoy being able to throw C4 in a tank, you know, if I were to get killed, respawn, and blow that shit up. Now, I believe they have it set up now, so if you go down and you get respawned, within 5 seconds of going down, your C4 will still appear there, but if you go down and you get respawned after 5 seconds you die, your C4 will disappear and cease to exist. Some other major changes that I noticed a lot personally is the gun mechanics, particularly when using the foregrips on a lot of the assault rifles and stuff like that. The recoil added to the guns completely caught me off guard and completely threw me off, and it really made me realize how much I took it for granted beforehand. You know, I have a lot of people telling me stuff like, you know, you gotta work on your aim, you gotta work on your long range shots and stuff like that, and, you know, I sit there and look at these people and I'm like, you're fucking nuts. Like, you know, my shot was excellent, absolutely amazing before the patch had come out, and with this added recoil, I was getting so frustrated, like, what the fuck is going on here? And I think overall, it's just an adjustment that I have to make personally. Maybe try using some different attachments on guns. And in my opinion, this is just from my personal experience, I've noticed on the M4A1 and the SG553, I think that the gun shoots more accurately without a foregrip and with a flash suppressor, I believe is what it's called, or a flash muzzle. My standard, I guess you could say my standard go-to guns for the SG553 and the M4A1 on the engineer class, and before patch I would run those with a foregrip and a silencer, and just with the added recoil and stuff, I felt that my shot was thrown off so much that I took those off and I threw on the flash muzzle. And I noticed a huge difference. Maybe that was just me. Maybe, you know, I had more time to adjust by the time I put those attachments on and I compensated for it. But, you know, I noticed a major change in the accuracy of myself and the guns that I was shooting. Another thing, too, is that they say, you know, we added a lot, or they added damage to some of the guns. Now, for me personally, I'm baffled at them actually making that statement and them actually doing so, because I have noticed that a lot of times it takes me more shots to kill the enemies than it did prior to the patch. In particular with the KH-2002, which is my favorite gun to use with a medic or assault class, I sit there and I get so many fucking hit markers with these guns. It's absolutely mind-boggling. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, you know, before patch, I was taking two dudes down with one, maybe two bursts to the chest, maybe two. Now I have gameplay and I can even upload this if you guys want to see, where I slowed it down in Sony Vegas to the point where it was like super slow motion. I watched my bullets hit this dude in the chest 4 times. Alright, 4 times, and this dude took an additional 2 bursts with 1 or 2 shots from each of those bursts just to die. So I don't know, you know, if you guys are noticing the same thing that I am, but I am noticing a definite decrease in damage. Now obviously that's not the case because, you know, they've made the statement that they added damage to the gun. So I don't know if this is due to input lag on my end or what. I did find a video that said if you turn off anti-alias and or how do you say aliasing or aliasing? Anti-aliasing. If you turn that off at the main menu, you go to options, and I believe it's under visual options. If you turn that off, it actually reduces your input lag. And I did that, and I definitely have noticed a difference, so that might be something to keep in mind. And it doesn't really dumb down the graphics whatsoever. The graphics look just as good as they did before. Another major difference that you just saw me doing was the parachute, controlling the parachute, the amount of control that you have over it, and how responsive it is to your turns, to slowing it down and speeding it up, so on and so forth. I think that is a great addition to the game as well. It adds a lot more realism, and it really gives you a lot more of an opportunity to kind of choose where you land, as opposed to you know, parachuting and just hoping that you land in a certain area. I think that was a big plus. You know, overall, I think that a lot of these changes are going to raise the skill ceiling in Battlefield 3 quite a bit. Now let me explain to you what I mean. Basically, I'll use myself an example. I consider myself a fairly good Battlefield player prior to the patch. You know, I kind of ran through games, pulled MVP ribbon a lot of the time, and was always in the top 3 or 4 on the leaderboard for the most part. You know, a lot of people I play with, same thing with them. Now, after the patch, I was noticing myself finishing more towards the middle of the pack more than anything. And I'm talking about overall score, not just kills. I can give 2 fucks what my KD is, as long as we get that win and I'm playing the objective. But, I think that, you know, for those players that were kind of the dominant players on Battlefield 3 and just couldn't do no wrong, I think this is going to give them room to improve even more and kind of separate themselves from the pack even more. I think that these patches, or the stuff included in the patch, is going to make it so, you know, the amount of time you put into this game to become a good player is going to increase. Not dramatically, but it is going to increase some, especially not being able to use those noobish tactics like throwing the frag rounds onto the shotties and just dominating teams. I didn't notice a major nerf to those guns, but you can... I basically noticed this. I noticed that when I go up against somebody with the USA 12 or the USAS 12 with frag rounds, I have a lot better of a chance of surviving and winning that gunfight as opposed to before. Now, I've never used the gun. I have used it once actually. I actually picked it up off somebody, but that's just a personal choice I've made to not use the gun. I could just, you know, care less to it. And I like to challenge myself. I don't want to take, you know, a cheap, easy way out of getting kills or winning games and stuff like that. I really do like to challenge myself, and you know, as frustrating as this patch was for me at first, I realized, you know, what I just said. This has become more of a challenge. It's going to be an adjustment period for myself, and, you know, eventually I'm going to catch on and be fine. And over the past couple of days, I've definitely noticed a pretty steady increase in my gun skill, kind of getting back to where I was. I seriously felt like, you know, I went from being a good shot to a pretty shitty shot, and you guys saw that in my videos, the last couple of videos that I did about, the patch and, you know, post-patch gameplay. Post-patch gameplay. But you know, overall, I think in the end this is going to be a very good move for Battlefield. I think it's very good how much they listen to the community and the stuff that they actually responded to. So, you know, let me know what you guys think about the patch overall in the comments below. Let me know if you agree, disagree with any of the stuff that I said, so on and so forth. But anyways, people, we are going to get this wrapping up. I apologize for this being a long ass video, but I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Definitely be expecting plenty more coverage on the patch and just more of that wonderful Battlefield 3 coming from yours truly, the Svenny-D, damn it. So, until next time, people, it is your boy Svenny-D, and I will catch y'all later. Peace!